Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Bill Chase and the Movies, and I've got 5 new films to review for you this week, and we're going to start off with Old Dogs, the new PG comedy starring 2 fine actors, John Travolta and Robin Williams. And this movie's title is fitting merely because the film is a dog. Williams plays Dan, a very important businessman on the brink of a deal with a group of Japanese investors, alongside Charlie, played by Travolta. Now they of course are the stars of this film, but they are joined by Craig, their other partner, played by Seth Green. Of course, Dan finds out he has kids, and is now stuck babysitting them. In the midst of all this madness, oh, the hilarity, let it begin. The big problem with this film was not only with the actors, but with the plot itself and the situations. This movie would be so bad if it was, well, funny, for one thing. But Travolta and Williams are obviously just collecting a paycheck here, and it shows in the way that they were just walking through this film, as is the normally funny Seth Green. Now, at least Matt Dillon, Justin Long, and even the late Bernie Mac are having fun with their roles here, but it's a shame that this had to be Mac's last official film, because he was a lot funnier in last year's Soul Men, which came out just a couple months after his death. In that movie, of course, he co-starred with Samuel L. Jackson. They had good chemistry. There is none of that here. But at least this movie goes to show the passion that he still had in spite of its material. Now, I gotta ask, are Williams and Travolta that shameless nowadays, where this is the best they can do? Williams, whose career, in my opinion, has been on a downswing for quite some time now, had a kind of I guess you could say, a performance comeback in terms of a very funny dark comedy called World's Greatest Dad, which I reviewed earlier this year. And Travolta seems to be chasing his tail for I don't know how long now. And these two are 2 amazing talents I've had great admiration for many, many years now. Growing up as a kid, these 2 were very famous men in Hollywood. They were 2 of the most lauded actors around. But now I can't recommend this film, even despite the fact that they're in it, because it just relies on lame cheap gags that are only funny to the people that made this film. I mean, and the dialogue wouldn't even fly on a lame Friday night sitcom on ABC. Another thing I really hated about this movie is the fact that they tried the same gags over and over. Literally the same gags. I'm talking exactly the same. It's as if the makers of this film are like, oh, well, people might not find it funny the first time, but if we do it maybe 3 or 4 more times, hey, they'll laugh. That's not how comedy works. Now, the makers of this film were also the same crew that did Wild Hogs a couple years ago. Travolta was in that movie, too. It was a biker comedy alongside Tim Allen, Martin Lawrence, and William H. Macy. Now, the movie had the same kind of roll your eyes concept, but at least it was funny. It was actually funny. There were a lot of laughs. It wasn't brilliant. It wasn't great. It was merely good, but I had a good time watching it. And even as a film critic, that's all I really want sometimes. I mean, I don't think that's too much to ask. Even as a regular John Q. Public moviegoer or whatever, it's not too much to ask. I think that's all people want sometimes, especially with the talent in this film. I mean, let's take Travolta and Williams, and let's even add Matt Dillon there. That's 6 Oscar nominations right there between the 3 of them. And how their agents allow them to get stuck in here is beyond me. Dillon can't seem to choose the right role since Crash. And while Williams had another really good movie earlier this year that not many people saw, this is going to be what people remember him for this year. Travolta cannot just seem to get a grasp of his career anymore. I do feel sympathy for the guy, especially after what happened to his son, but since this movie was filmed before that, I feel no sympathy for the flack he's going to get here, and he deserves it. So I'm giving Old Dogs 1 star out of 5.